Today we are going to review the parts of a vascular plant, and you'll notice that this cross-section of a plant is very similar to the picture on page 68. And this cross-section is like slicing a plant in half and then magnifying it a whole bunch so that you can see all the cell parts. So we're going to begin first by looking at this on the left side, and this is the vein. As you notice, it sort of is pointing to a great big thing there, that sort of great big pink circle, and with a couple colors inside. And this is the vein. And inside the vein, it has two parts. The first part is the xylem. And the xylem can be kind of referred to as the escalator. It takes the nutrients from the roots and distributes it to other parts of the plant. So through the xylem is how the plant gets fed. So this is like a tube that goes from the roots and goes up and feeds all the rest of the plant, all the nutrients and things that it needs. So that is the xylem. So the xylem is the escalator of the plant. The other part here inside the vein is the phloem. And the phloem sort of has a similar function. It takes the sugars that are produced in the leaves and takes them back to all the other parts of the plant. So it's sort of like the elevator going down. So inside the vein, there are two functions. One function, one group of cells, the xylem takes things up, and then the phloem takes things down. So I kind of like to picture this as maybe when you are at a mall and you see escalators going up and escalators coming down right beside each other. That is the vein of the plant. Okay, so that is the xylem and the phloem. The next parts are at the top of the picture here, upper epidermis, and at the bottom there, lower epidermis. And the epidermis, you can think about it, if you break this word apart into epi and dermis, dermis meaning skin, and epi meaning outer. So the epidermis is the outer layer of cells, and they can be on the roots or the plant, and this outer layer of cells are often covered in tiny hairs that help draw in the water and minerals that the plant needs. Okay, so this upper epidermis and lower epidermis are the outer layers of cells on the plant. Next we have the stoma, down there at the very bottom. The stoma is a tiny hole that allows water and gases to pass in and out of the plant. And these tiny holes, called the stoma, need some help. So they have guard cells right around them to help them open and close. Okay, so these guard cells open and close these stoma holes. And when the guard cells are all poofed up full of water and plump, then they're open. And when the guard cells are like not full of water and droopy and saggy, then they sort of droop and close. And it is through the stoma and the guard cells that transpiration takes place. And transpiration is when gases in the air enter and water passes out of it. So it's through these guard cells that the stoma can take in gases and let out water. So when the water leaves the stoma, that process is called transpiration. Okay? The last parts here that are covered in blue at the very top and the very bottom are the cuticle. Okay? The cuticle of a plant is often a waxy layer that covers the leaf and the plant to slow water loss. So that is the outermost layer. It's the cuticle, and it is mainly used to prevent too much water loss. Okay, there are three more things on our picture here. And the first one is the palisade mesophyll cell. The next one is the spongy mesophyll cell and the bundle sheath cell. These are not in the example in our book on page 68, but what I would like you to do for your assignment today is I would like you to look up the palisade mesophyll cell, the bundle sheath cell, and the spongy mesophyll cell, and I would like you to figure out what their function is, what they do, what happens in these cells. Give me some information on these three cells. So if you notice, the palisade cells are kind of there on the one on the top. They're sort of those darker green. The spongy mesophyll cells are sort of teal colored. So those are the ones we're looking for to see what they do. And then the bundle sheath cell, it looks like it is the outside layer there of the vein. So we'll have to look up those three parts of the vascular plant and get me a definition or a function of what they do. So that is your review of the vascular plant parts and your assignment for today.